He opened the chutes early. Doc Holliday drives around him. A serious error by Jim White. Now, the chute may have shaken out. Let's watch and see if there's a lot of tire shake. Jim White definitely out in front of Doc Holliday as they move down toward the quarter mile. Watch for the parachutes. There you see them blossoming early, and Doc Holliday zips on by.
Oh, what a lucky break for Doc Holliday, who, as we mentioned, badly needs championship points here. Now, the next quarterfinal will have Ed the Ace McCullough, the #2 qualifier out of Hemet, California, one of the great names in funny car drag racing. He'll be facing the son of a great name, Scott Kalita, son of the fuel dragster great Connie Kalita. #7 qualifier is Scott out of Belleville, Michigan, and this should be a great race.
McCullough and Kalita both staged. They're out together, and McCullough has a little bit of problem. Now Kalita weaving around as both cars broke loose, and McCullough an easy win.
Scott Kalita got very close to the center line. That would have been automatic disappointment. Let's take another look.
Watch the driving job as Kalita tries to tiptoe along that center line. That caused him to slow down. McCullough, not having tire shake problems, moves on by and opens the gap to take an easy victory.
So, Ed McCullough, there you see the numbers, 5.888, great run. Jack Wyeth, the #8 qualifier out of Allerton, Iowa, is in the next quarterfinal matchup, and he has got to face #1 qualifier Mark Oswald out of nearby Cleves, Ohio, and he is darn near unbeatable on this racetrack. Tim.
Not only #1 qualifier, #1 in the point standings, the defending world champion Mark Oswald driving the Candies and Hughes owned Motorcraft Thunderbird, and out they go. It looks like Oswald's going to be out front. He'll have an easy win, even though he breaks loose at about the 200-foot mark.
You saw the tire smoke there as Mark Oswald didn't get quite the traction that he wanted, but still a somewhat glum-looking crew. Heck, those guys don't look very happy at all, but another victory for the famous Candies and Hughes car.
This is Jim Head from Westerville, Ohio. Jim driving the wild old Sperenza bodied car, one of the most controversial cars in drag racing, and there you have Tom McEwen, his opponent from Fountain Valley, California.
McEwen, the #4 qualifier. Head, the #5 qualifier. Very evenly matched cars. You see Head in the near lane, McEwen in the far lane. Not yet staging. Time for a little dry hop. Get those tires up to operating temperatures.
They'll try and see if they have the clutches set and how hot the traction is. And, oh, a problem. Jim Head going up in smoke as he does his burnout. Now, that could be trouble. Oswald hooked up very nicely, Bob.
That's right. On that dry hop, we didn't want to see a little bit of smoke. They expected to get that one away cleanly. Looks like Head is spinning the tires a little bit, not getting the traction he wants as he prepares for the race. But the engines are fired. The car's about to stage. Not a whole lot he can do about it.
No, Jim Head can feather it just a little bit off the line, but that's difficult to do with a 3,000 horsepower nitromethane-powered machine. On the other hand, I'm sure that McEwen will use it to his advantage if he saw the tire smoke by Jim Head when they did that dry burnout.
Time to stage, so Jim Head will have to drive an ill-handling car, making up for what the mechanics of that machine won't do for him. See them come forward. When the yellow lights flash, they'll be staged. The 3 yellow lights will flash, meaning the green is next.
They're both pre-staged now. That's about 8 inches from the stage beam. The Coors Corvette of McEwen stages first. Now Head's ready. There goes the green, and out they go.
There you see it. Head gets loose and shuts it down.
Just what we thought might happen when you saw that smoke on that initial burnout. Head got loose. He got near the center line and had to shut it off. Tom McEwen to an easy victory.
And so Tom McEwen at 5.79 will move on into the semifinals with an easy victory over Jim Head in the quarters.
Tom McEwen shutting off just a little early, coasting through at 248.62 miles per hour.
And as McEwen wheels the Corvette onto the rundown area, we'll take a look at the Nitro Funny Car Semis. Mark Oswald will meet Tom McEwen in one bracket. Look for Ed the Ace McCullough to meet Doc Holliday in the other. Time now for the big crowd pleasers, Pro Stock. The closest thing to a stock street car, but nothing like it when you get under that engine hood. 500 cubic inches of power, maybe 900 horses or so. And we will see Carlton Phillips in the black Chevy Camaro, the #6 qualifier out of Vienna, Virginia. He'll be meeting Ed Dixon in the near lane, and they're away.
Phillips is out first. Look at Dixon carry the wheels. This could be anyone's race. Phillips starts pulling ahead now as they hit high gear. Carlton Phillips.
And we're used to seeing close racing in Pro Stock. We sure got it. Carlton Phillips, the winner. Great time, great top speed. Next quarterfinal matchup will be Tim Neighbors, the #4 qualifier out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. He'll meet Bob Olson, the #5 qualifier out of Elgin, Illinois.
Bob Olson, one of the match race kings. He's in partnership with Gary Stewart. And Tim Neighbors, a regular on the IHRA trail. Plenty tough. Neighbors is out, and Olsen right beside him. It looks like Neighbors in the far lane with a slight lead. Neighbors pulls fourth gear, and yes.
Looks like Tim Neighbors very narrowly at 7.44 seconds. With a narrow victory over Bob Olsen. We'll take another look.
We'll take a look at this. I want you to notice the ETs on this, Bob. They both have identical 7.44, and they both ran exactly 189 mile an hour. And as we get to the finish line, you'll be able to see why. Look at that.
About 2 feet, the entire gap there for Tim Neighbors. Our next quarterfinal matchup will be Jerry Haas out of St. Louis, Illinois, the number 2 qualifier, facing this man, Jim Ruth, the number 10 qualifier. He beat number 7, Terry Adams, in the first round, so this should be another good race.
Ruth red lighted, I believe. Ruth leads very early in the pure Pontiac car, and I think he's turned on the red light. However, Haas motors by him anyway with a terrific 747. Watch now. You see Ruth's front end, and there's the foul light on the Christmas tree, indicating an automatic win for Jerry Haas. But look at the top end charge by Haas. He beat Ruth anyway.
And he knows that car. He builds pro stock racers, does Jerry Haas. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that as the day goes on. Now, earlier, first round action. Defending IHRA champion Ricky Smith on a Thunderbird in the right lane, facing Roy Hill in the left lane. And watch this one, folks.
This is a real upset. Roy Hill noses out Ricky Smith. You can hardly tell who won. Roy Hill with a 732, 188 mile an hour. That gentleman is in this race, and he is to be dealt with.
Well, after facing one Motorcraft Ford Thunderbird, Roy Hill, you see him there in his T-Bird, will face this man, the winningest drag racer in history, Bob Glidden out of Whiteland, Indiana.
Hill must feel like the deck stacked against him. First Smith, then Glidden. What's he going to do? Glidden, out of shape, has to shut it down. Glidden had tire problem off the starting line. Roy Hill has upset both Motorcraft Thunderbirds. This is incredible.
So Roy Hill, a neighbor and friend of the Petty family, a guy who's won a race or two out of North Carolina. Roy Hill says he got into drag racing so he wouldn't have to go into stock car racing and race his buddy, the Petties.
There you see Glidden getting just a little bit crooked off of the starting line. Roy Hill stays on it, turns a 737, 189 mile an hour. Bret Kepner talks to Roy Hill.
Well, getting out of the car, a man with a job to do who is getting it done. Standing next to car builder Jerry Haas, Roy Hill, what a job. Like I said, you came here with a job to do, you're getting it done. Getting past Ricky Smith first round, Bob Glidden second round, you may be on your way to a repeat here.
I'm just real lucky right now. Anytime you beat that man over there, you've done something. We was in